this time. What's up, guys? Welcome back. Volume sounds super loud. Okay, welcome back to BS Rambles. And today I'm checking out on the public test realm Raynor's Rework, and I've found what feels like probably his best talent build and the one that I'm expecting to go meta in Hero League once it comes that time in about a week. And what this build revolves around is this talent here, Ace in the Hole. 35% more damage to stunned or slowed targets. And that is going to synergize with the fact that Raynor has all kinds of different ways to apply slows to the enemies. That's basically going to give that talent 100% uptime once we get past level 7. So at level 7 and beyond, we're going to start doing insane damage. And what's nice about this build is, unlike most hyper carry assassin builds that are auto attacks, like Vala for example is kind of the other quintessential auto attack hyper carry, they really don't come online till late game. That's especially true for Vala, who's probably going to be the biggest competitor in the meta with Raynor for that ranged hyper carry auto attack assassin spot. And yeah, Vala doesn't come online until very late in the game, but Raynor comes online early in the game. It'll be about level 7 that you'll notice a big damage spike, and then you still get similar hyper carry-esque damage spikes at level 16 and level 20 with this build. And this is just like full-on assassin auto attack damage. There's other builds with Raynor that are going to offer a lot more survivability if that's what you're looking for, but I think that his best role on a team is just going to be a big nuker. And what I love about doing these builds, I call them tank shred builds, because what's going to happen is early on in the game you're going to be using all your abilities and maneuvering around to try to make sure that you're hitting their backline, hitting high priority targets, and not wasting a lot of DPS on tanks that are basically just bullet sponges early on, right? That's their role. They want you to attack them. Best case scenario for the enemy team is that you're attacking the tanks and leaving their backline alone. And that's what we're going to do for the most part during the early parts of the game. But then level 16, level 20, all of a sudden you get your percentage damage to health and you become a tank shred hero. And it really hits the other team with a different look, because all this time when you've been ignoring the enemy tank, they've been gathering confidence, building up confidence in their ability to just dive in and not have people really mess with them at all. And all of a sudden you're just going to be blowing them up so quickly that they won't be ready for that at all. And it's a big strategy change, right? So at level 4, I like taking sustaining rounds. This is going to stack well because at level 16, we're going to take the ability that allows us to activate Give 'em Pepper, your passive. So it offers a little bit of a burst heal. It's actually, so if you activate that and then hit the regular one for your 4th hit, you'll get 12% extra healing to yourself right there. And it's just a nice tool to keep yourself topped off going into fights. If you're getting bursted down or worried about getting bursted down, fight or flight's probably a better option. Oopsies. Fight or flight's a better option because it gives you that 25% armor, which kind of turns what currently is kind of a oh crap I'm getting killed button, which is your adrenaline rush, into more of a holy shit I'm about to get bursted down button, right? And that 25% armor might be the difference when the enemy team's bursting you down. But as you can see right now, the sustaining rounds are working well enough to kind of keep me topped off as is. Obviously it's going to be vastly different when you're playing against actual teammates, and I have never felt the need to say that, but every single time I make one of these public test round theory crafting videos, someone always comes in and is like, feels the need to make the comment that I'm playing against AI and that things are pretty different when you're playing against real players. It's like, okay, thanks, I know. This is just theory crafting, right? And who you're playing against doesn't really change how effective a specific build is in terms of how the numbers crunch. Obviously the effectiveness will change with the dynamics of playing against actual players because they're a lot smarter about hitting the right targets. But it's nice for testing against these AI because they let you just hit them. They're really just bullet sponges. Okay, so here's when we come online, because we are going to go with Unstable Compound. And instead of dying in there, I'll just read you off this talent. So increase the area of Give 'em some pepper by 15%, and enemies hit are slowed by 10% for 3 seconds. So it sounds honestly pretty negligible. That 15% increased area, you're probably not even going to notice it, nor will you likely notice 10% slow on the enemy unless you're actually just straight line running away from them or running them down in a straight line. The big deal with this, though, is that it's applying a slow that is going to go back and trigger Ace in the Hole, which is going to give you 35% extra damage. So let me just get my trait here, and then I'll show you guys on Sylvanas what it looks like. Sylvanas. Okay, she's being real shy right now. So maybe I'll just go down and show you guys on Thrall. And this is what I mean by high auto attack damage relatively early in the game. So there we go. So now we're already hitting for 35% extra damage. And it's kind of unexpected burst and output potential for an auto attack damage carry at this point in the game. And it does work on minions, as you can see. And you got that nice AoE effect, so all of a sudden you're hitting minions. And you can see it works out to having about 100% uptime. I think it might even actually be 100% uptime. Let's go help my team with the curse. So all of a sudden now you have 100% uptime on 35% increased damage. So you can see what I'm doing to Raynor or Deckard Cain right now. It's just you got that 100% uptime and you can just toast him with it. And we still get that huge boost later, but it's nice to just have... I mean, sometimes when you're playing other auto attack builds with other heroes, namely Vala. I keep on bringing up Vala because that's actually... she's a main of mine. I've got my most Hero League wins this season on Vala, and I like doing the auto attack build with her a lot, but it comes on so late that early game, a lot of the time you kind of feel like you're shooting spaghetti out of those crossbows. So this is a welcome change that you feel like you've got quite a bit higher damage potential early. And it's pretty satisfying just constantly seeing that little crit splash behind your numbers. So level 10, I personally think if I was going to go into Hero League and play, I would take Hyperion just because it adds a lot of utility. And a lot of the time your ranged carries don't offer a lot in terms of utility during offense and defense other than just putting out auto attack damage. So this is a really nice tool to just add another layer to your push. But if you want to just go straight auto attack carry, it's all about Raynor's Raider. It's kind of fun talent as well because even after this rework, Raynor really is just a bread and butter hero. So it's kind of nice to add another layer to his gameplay in the Banshee, because you're basically controlling it the way that you'd be controlling Misha, which is pretty fun. But I frequently let it die, especially right now when I'm just testing out these builds for the first times. It tends to just be kind of a sacrificial lamb for me. But it's a really nice tool for harassment, and it does add a lot of single attack damage. Goodbye. And that's what I mean. Now it's dead for another 43 seconds. It's pretty fun that it has 100% uptime, though. It is a really fun talent, but again, I think I would probably realistically be taking Hyperion just for the utility of it, and it adds a whole bunch of damage in team fights anyways. So you see, I just run around with the passive activated like that, and then you can start off a fight by spiking that slow on someone, and then all of a sudden you're getting the increased damage. Oh, goodbye. So you'll see as we keep on going that there's going to be more ways to apply your slow than even what we have right now. And we get that percentage health talent at level 16, which is going to add to your burst pretty significantly. And what I love about this type of build, which I always call them tank shred builds. So anyone basically that has, like, Tychus is kind of the ultimate tank shredder. But Vala can do it really well by level 20, even by level 16. She's got good tank shred potential. And Raynor can do it at level 16. And what I love about those is that the entire first part of the game, you don't have that percentage health damage. It's kind of a waste of time to be hitting tanks because you're probably not going to get the kill on them anyways, and you can be so much more effective against other heroes. But as soon as you get that percentage health damage, all of a sudden you can hit the enemy team with a new look and start dealing heavy damage to the tanks when they're out of position. And since, if you're playing properly, hopefully you've been largely ignoring them. I'm just shredding this thrall right now. Hopefully you've been largely ignoring them for the earlier portions of the game. So they will have built up a lot of confidence in their ability to just kind of run the front line, and all of a sudden you're just going to be hitting them with a new look and bursting them down really hard. Here I'm going to take Giddy up. 10% movement speed while mounted and unmounted, and Inspire grants 10% more movement speed, which puts it up to another 20% boosted movement speed. And it makes it really fun because you're applying that 10% slow, and then you've got 20% movement speed. It honestly kind of feels like you're playing Raynor, because everyone that you're against is going to have your slows applied to them, and you can just start running people down and really just working your positioning over them. You're going to have a huge positional advantage, or huge mobility advantage, which is an interesting mechanic to have on Raynor, who's kind of a hero that operates on having no mobility spells. So it makes his playstyle a lot more fun to me. You position yourself a lot better, and he's got that increased range too, which honestly it feels like he doesn't need anymore. If you don't know what I'm talking about, previously, if you looked at Raynor's trait, it was that he had an extra 1 point of range than other heroes, and the reason that people were so annoyed with that over time was that other heroes got that anyway. So heroes with the same range as Raynor included Tassadar, Nova, I'm pretty sure Anna had it. I think there might have been a couple others too. In any case, he has longer range than most ranged heroes do, and you can really flex that on him now. You just watch Sylvanas get shredded, and sick the Banshee over here. Something that I've always found, and maybe this is just my own not being great at the game, is that these Banshees are actually insanely hard to target, to select as a target. Just the way that it floats off the ground, you can kind of tell what I'm talking about just by the difference between the Banshee and its shadow. Like, I always have that trouble with Mutalisks too, Zagara's Mutalisks. I find them hard to select, just because it's different selecting something that's so high up in the sky. To give you guys an idea what's coming, at level 16, we're going to take Bounty Hunter. So it gives your kind of your standard percentage of percent damage off a hero's max health, which makes you really good at tank shredding, like I mentioned earlier, but it's triggered by your passive, so it's 1 every 4 hits. Most heroes get it 1 every 3 hits. To bounce it back out, they allow you to activate Give 'em some pepper. So now you can activate the ability to Give 'em some pepper on people. You get that slow on them. Here, I'm going to do it to Sylvanas right now. You get that slow on them, plus that initial burst damage. Oh god. I absolutely hate dying when I'm trying to make these recordings. It's embarrassing to die versus Elite AI, and then you have to sit there and fill a minute of time just blabbing without actually putting gameplay in behind it. So it's actually so annoying to the point that when it does happen, I start wondering if I should just completely scrap what I've done and just re-record, which is annoying to do. I'll probably just die here if I try to go in, unfortunately. Whoa, yeah. It's kind of fun running around with all that increased movement speed. You really do notice it. So yeah, you can kind of see the build has kind of come together here in terms of what it's trying to accomplish, and that is that you're basically going to have 100% uptime on your slows, which is going to be constantly keeping Ace in the Hole active. Which just makes you do ludicrous amounts of damage. Your output is so crazy. And then Give 'em pepper. Now you can activate it. It's going to be the source of your survivability. So this plays a lot like Vala's auto attack build, but it just feels, honestly to me, it just feels like a better version of it. It comes online earlier. You get a comparable amount of healing out of Give 'em some pepper's talents. And you just have more control over your burst. And then on top of all that, you're running around with extra movement speed, and you're applying slows to the enemies as well. So and then you've got that increased range to boot. So it just feels like a really strong. He feels like a really strong character right now, and I'm kind of thinking that it's likely that he's gonna replace Vala. Not that Vala's in meta right now, but on a lot of people's rosters, if they like to use Vala like I do, I have a feeling that more viable than Vala will be Raynor. Even in they even gave Raynor the ability to contribute to Immortal Racing through his level 1 talent. So you can see now, like, you can just run people down because you get that 20% increased movement speed. He's slowed by 10%. It plays like Lunara, except you have insanely high damage output attached to it. You really just run people down like that. Anyways, what I was saying is that Raynor really competes for the same slot as auto attack damage hyper carry with Vala, and it sure feels to me like Raynor is going to be the new go-to for that slot because he comes online sooner and he does the same job just as well, if not better. What I was saying about Immortal Racing, let me just burn this dude down real quick. What I was saying about Immortal Racing is if you take the level 1 talent Exterminator, you get increased damage by 50% to non-heroes, and it's 100% when Inspire is activated, which is all of a sudden going to give you just huge damage to Immortals and bosses, less importantly. So I think the only time that that would be a viable talent to take would really be on Battlefield Eternity when you're racing those Immortals. But it's just interesting that they gave him that. Like, it really feels like they tried to give Raynor a little piece of everything. Because if you go his penetrating round build, the Q build, he has crazy survivability and pretty crazy burst with it too. Like, it's definitely similar to Vala's Q build. Here, see, watch how fast this guy dies. That's what I mean by just that level 20 torch. And now you guys can see, hopefully I can show you execute against Thrall here. There we go. So once he gets below 50% health, you'll see that the damage just starts blowing up, yeah. And I'll activate, give him some pepper here to slow Deckard down a bit. Hopefully I can catch him again. You get this crazy run speed, and then I can show you, I mean, they just die instantly at that point. Anyone below 50% health, you're just gonna instant kill. Unless they're Junkrat, in which case they can just fly up into the air. Hopefully this guy comes in on me. Oh god. Oh, 63 seconds. Okay, so I'll take this time just to kind of reiterate what I've done and show you guys the synergy in a more clear and comprehensive way. So, entire build hinges on Ace in the Hole. 35% attack damage to slow or stun enemies. Sustaining round just works off Give 'em some pepper. Synergizes with level 16 Bounty Hunter because you can activate Give 'em some pepper for a little bit of burst healing for yourself if you need to use it for that. Level 7, Give 'em some pepper is increased area and slows. The point of that is to be activating Ace in the Hole, which now will give that 100% uptime. Also synergizes with level 16 Bounty Hunter because you can now activate it for the initiation so that you don't have to wait for your trait to activate to start benefiting from Ace in the Hole. You can activate it and use it off the bat. Level 10 Raynor's Raider, that's if you want single target damage. You can take Hyperion if you want to add more utility in terms of defense and offense. Probably going to be taking Hyperion when I go into Hero League just because it's a lot easier to deal with than Raynor's Raider. At level 13, we take Giddy Up, and this basically turns you into Lunara because you get an extra 10% movement speed mounted and unmounted, and Inspire grants you now 20% bonus movement speed. So you really just sprint around, you apply that 10% slow, and you can run people down. No one can escape from you. And level 16, I already touched on a little bit, that's now your Tank Shred talent, which attaches percentage hero damage to your trait and makes your trait activatable. Again, synergizes back to Ace in the Hole because you're activating that slow right off the bat to give you the 35% increased damage. And last but certainly not least, Execute. This is the big talent that turns you into the hyper carry. Increased attack speed by 20%, damage increased by 25% on heroes below 50% health. So just between that talent and Ace in the Hole is that 25% plus the 35%, so that's 60% increased damage to heroes that are below 50% health, plus the 20% on attack speed, plus the 3% bonus damage to their max health that you're getting from Gibbs and Pepper. Basically all you need to know from that. Oh, and of course the 10% attack speed from Inspire, and any burst that you get from Penetrating Round. You really just, if someone falls below 50% health, you're going to kill them almost instantly. The numbers work out to be absolutely insane, and hopefully I can give you guys a good taste. It'd be nice if Tyrael or Thrall would put themselves out of position for me. Oh my god. If I die here, I will be so sad. Okay. And that's my Hyperion down. Okay, let's see what I can do here. Hopefully not die. Okay, I don't think I'm going to risk that. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Phew. Gun that bitch down. No, what's happening? Please, leave me alone. Okay, I think I'm just going to go back quickly. That was not a bad little showcase against Sylvanas. I really want to show you guys what it looks like against Tyrael, Deckard, or Thrall, just kind of the guys that I can hit repeatedly with it, so you can see why I'm all about this build and why I'm so surprised at the output that you can do. And again, all of this is crazy for level 20, but what's really crazy is how early it comes online, because there's other hyper carries that do mad damage early game, or mad damage late game, but there's not other hyper carries. That was some Tyrael burst there. It'd be nice if I can get one to myself so you guys can really see. There we go. Here goes Thrall. You're a bit of a beefcake, aren't you, Thrall? Damn. Yeah, what's really insane is that the damage comes online a lot earlier than other auto attack damage hypercarry builds. Is this really going to be an issue? No, it's not going to be an issue. I can keep on having fun here. So you'll see, I'm just going to run down this Sylvanas, because I've got the bonus attack speed, bonus movement speed. Bye-bye. What's fun too is if you run around, you can see my trait is waiting to activate right now. I don't have the bonus at the moment, but oh, don't even go there with me, buddy. Man, I cannot control that Banshee. It just wants blood, blood, blood. Okay, I'm gonna go. Okay, now this is a good chance to light up Tyrael a bit. Activate, give him Pepper. There we go. Yeah, basically an instant kill. And that's what I mean by hitting tanks with a different look. Not that you can play mind games against AI, but in actual games it really does work. That if you're doing a good job of not focusing the tanks the way that you should be, once you do... Oh god, not like this. Good. Once you do start shredding the tanks in late game, they really don't expect it. So you can usually get one or two kind of free kills on a tank that thinks that they're a lot tankier than they are, and put themselves out of position, not expecting the level of burst that you're going to be able to do to them. Especially with Raynor's increased range too, you really are able to catch people with their pants down. Okay, there's this Q. Here's the burst. And I should be able to just run down Deckard here. Yeah. There's the trait activated. 400 per hit is pretty insane. And I can just, like Lunera style, walk him down. Yeah, I would 100% be taking Hyperion if I was going into Hero League. This, if you guys are better than I am, maybe you can handle putting effort into controlling the Banshee while trying to run this build, but I think I'm just not comfortable enough on Raynor. Don't have the APM to to handle running a pet at the same time as trying to be an effective hyper carry damage dealer. It's kind of an annoying team for me to showcase this against. It would be nice if I had like a Diablo or an ETC on the other team, or a Johanna, just like a big old meat shield for me to gun down for you guys. We'll go try to delete Thrall down here. Here we go. So that was just penetrating round, inspire, and I activated give him some pepper off the bat right after I used, and it was already primed, so I got double tap on give him some pepper. And then, yeah, that was just basically all cooldowns. That was kind of an ideal burst because he was also sitting below 50% health, but you get that. Basically get an instant kill on him. And that's a bruiser, so... I mean, he didn't even get a chance to activate Frostwolf Resilience or anything like that. I don't think it really matters whether that's a player or what. If you're at a position like that, below 50% health, it's an instant kill. Ugh, I hate this Junkrat. Yeah. This Deckard's been a great meat shield for me, actually. Oh, no! Oh, he decided to have mercy. No, Junkrat, I fucking hate you. I did not need this game to go this long to make my point. I mean, any hyper carry at level 25 is going to be doing insane output. Have a look what it looks like. Not that this means anything in a Versa AI game. Yeah, I've been pretty impressed with him. Pretty impressed with Raynor. I do think that he's going to be making a resurgence in Hero League based on what I'm seeing here, and with this build especially. Another option, so you can still kind of run this build, but if you're finding you're dying a lot the way I am, instead of taking Bounty Hunter and Giddy Up, you could, if you want to be just kind of less of a hyper carry and more, have a little bit more utility, if you take Debilitating Rounds. So decrease the cooldown of penetrating round by 3 seconds while Inspire is active. Penetrating round slow is increased by 20%, so a little bit of extra utility on there. And then paint them red. Increase the damage of penetrating round by 50%, and then you heal for 100% of the hero damage you deal with it. And it's actually pretty insane. You do, if you hit 2 or 3 heroes in that, you're going to... I activated my trait there for this guy. You're going to heal your entire health bar with that. What is this guy doing? It seems retarded at first sight, but then he is kind of juking the shit out of me. There we go. This is what I'm looking for. Just a nice dumb Tyrael to roast for you guys. There we go. Inspire's active. I mean, I didn't need him to be that dumb. That was a little over the top. You want the kills to be a showcase of the damage output, but not so brutal. Ah, why am I whiffing that so hard? And activate the trait. Boom. I mean, you can see that I'm just roasting people down super quickly at least. Here we go. The half health Junkrat. That's an instant deletion. Oh, his trap. I think that this Junkrat AI is just better than me, to be honest. Like, I'm just getting outplayed by him. He's got that fucking tracker on me. There goes Hyperion. Oh, it's a bit embarrassing, to be honest. To be honest with you, it's a bit embarrassing. I don't know if I mentioned that these AI are on elite mode, so they're pretty skilled. I wonder if it would be hilarious to just put, like, in Team League or in regular Hero League, just like a group of 5 AI, 5 elite AI, and just see where they find themselves in Hero League, what rank they're in. I'm gonna guess that they would find themselves in bronze. No, you know what? I'm gonna go silver 4. I'm gonna say silver 4 is where they'd find themselves, because their mechanics are pretty good. They just do weird shit, but they don't really I feel like the game at that point... See ya. The game at lower ranks is more just about who fucks up less and at less critical times. And since everyone's just fucking up at random times, there's really no... It has no bearing on strategy. It's just dumb luck. Who's going to fuck up at the worst time? Which honestly stays true in Diamond League. It's been my experience. It's just like, who's going to fuck up at the worst time possible? And whichever team has that, like, that idiot that wanders out on his own at level 26... is going to be the one that loses the game. Give him some pepper activated, get him below 50% health, and then just roast him down. And this Banshee, doing nothing. Stupid ass Banshee. Here we go. Help me with Sylvanas at least, Banshee. Bye. She pretty even fight until she was below 50% health, and then I just absolutely torched her. This is nice where I'm standing, actually. I just kind of get to catch them one at a time coming out. Fucking 30-minute game. It was not meant to be this long. Okay, Tyrael. Let's do this. Give him some pepper activated. Bye-bye. Hyperion, go attack Deckard. Oh, Deckard, what are you doing? Oh, he lives. Holy fuck, I'm so scared of this Junkrat. It's like some fucking HGC player has just snuck into my game and chosen to play Junkrat. Okay, here we go, this will be fun. Torch Thrall first. Don't do it, Junkrat. Oh, you motherfucker! Okay, you know what? I'm gonna end it there, guys. I'm not going to make you watch another minute of this. Anyways, you can see the build. I think you guys get the gist of it by this time. I feel like I beat it over the head. If you did watch the entire video, I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, do the YouTube do. Like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you guys. Have a great week.